Right, Linebreak Rugby.
Woo!
We're all in the same room.
Again, same team, same meal.
Well, no, there's no proper cookies.
No,
There's a blend. There's a blend.
The cookies were the same as last time. The muffins are now just stalkless.
Oh, they're flat.
Yeah.
And Fred's not talking.
They're more splats.
I don't know what to say.
He didn't do much talking last time either.
Did you not?
I can't remember.
I
I might be
think he
making
did.
that up.
I'm pretty sure he did. I was pretty sure he was the loudest one.
Yeah, probably.
You were the quietest because your laptop was in the way.
Yeah. So it's Sav. Not really the host. We're all the host.
Technically speaking, I am host.
Technically, Ed's the host. Because it's his house, his food, his milk. Cookies and milk. We've regressed.
Well, carry on.
Yeah.
I'm Ed.
I'm Fred.
That's Fred. There we go.
And we're talking about rugby.
Or
And we've
something.
just watched the Lions Crusaders.
Yeah.
Should we talk about it?
It was a bit shit.
It wasn't.
I enjoyed it.
Well, you enjoyed what you saw.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
after turning up 35 minutes late. Okay, Ryan Crotty.
25,
excellent,
but yeah, go on.
But it's... I just think it was a bit messy is all.
Crotty had a blinder. Fred called him being man of the match about 20 minutes in.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think he was awesome.
30 at the latest.
Yeah. He had a great game.
Yeah, I came in supporting, thinking, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to support the Lions because Crusaders have won it a million times and Lions have never won it.
Yeah.
And then I saw the first try, was
The
a bit
first
lucky.
try was a breakaway and quite good.
But the second one was so good that I just wanted the
You're on the
Crusaders to keep
Crusaders'
playing
side.
that same rugby.
I missed the first. I missed the first half of the lead up to it just because I was getting a drink from the bar. But I could just about see it at the angle, and then I get back and he crashes over. But it was Reed's try that kind of
That galvanised you. You were
yeah,
buzzing
and I
after
was
that.
suddenly realised shit. I don't care. I couldn't give a shit about the Lions. I want to see the Crusaders win this. And because that happens. That happens quite. I wouldn't say often, but it happens sometimes where if I don't know who I'm supporting, there might be something that happens. A player I like will do something fun, or a player I don't like will do something stupid, and it'll like bring me round. And Reed is. I'm hugely fond of Reed, and that moment, him crashing over. Good
I mean, the second try, he could have scored it himself, but he went for the pass. He's really a selfless player.
Good you got his try. I was hoping Combrick would do something, to be honest. That's when obviously when I came in, I was hoping...
He did have some impact when he got the ball, but I think they didn't really deal very well with the rush defence of the Crusaders. They were often on the back foot, not really doing anything with the ball. And it was every now and then it was either Combrink or Yantis managing to break the line.
Yeah. Combrink did a lot of clearing the line from behind, but he was never put into space or never given a chance to do much.
That defensive rush from the
Crusaders, they were they kind of choked them out, not really choking, smothered.
They just pressed them back so hard.
Yeah,
every single time.
Well, yeah, I mean, what was it? About 60 or 70 minutes. The Lions went back 20 or 30 yards in the space of about 20 seconds.
And it wasn't too much with massive hits, like we did see a couple, but
no, they just get up, get in their face, and
exactly.
Stop them getting
smart defense,
anywhere
right time, right moment, all together.
Yeah,
it was just well done. It kind of they showed the same control that they showed in the quarter and I've not seen the semi. It's the only game I missed in the playoffs, but they've shown real control, and that I think that was the difference.
I think certainly the Crusaders, and you were right about the big hits, because when you watched it, Crotty, when you watched the Crotty montage for his man of the match, he wasn't making massive hits because he's not the biggest. He's big, but he's not the biggest, and he's taking legs, and then he's straight back on his feet, ready for a next line rush. And that was what the Crusaders were doing really well. They nullified the attack, and then everybody's back on their feet, ready to do it again. And it was that constant wave of defence.
Yeah, I think the biggest hit of the entire match was from... the problem is I can't remember either of their names.
That was the red card.
It was the red card, but it wasn't the Lions player on the Crusader. It was the Crusaders player's knee into the face of the Lion that tackled him. Because the angle he ran...
who got the red card, literally
ran straight into his knee.
Yeah.
And so he was out for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, not out, but...
He went down pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, Fred was saying, that should be a yellow, that should be a yellow.
Yeah, he was down. He
Sav
thought
saying
it was a
red or
travesty.
let me.
I
said. I think it might be a yellow because he did land, even though it was really the top. It was his back,
Still his back
that
not
he
his
landed on, even though the flip was really ugly and he was clearly hurt.
That flip as well, not helped by Crusaders number 6.
Yeah, there's not that much he can do really. It all
No,
happens
but
so
if
quickly.
he hadn't been there, the Lions player definitely would have landed on his side rather than being...
Maybe.
The Crusaders player would have landed on his side rather than being flipped to full.
No, I think the red card, obviously, well, we talked about it
justified.
It was just, it was the right call.
Yeah, I'm not angry about that.
Yeah, but the other thing, it's annoying that this conversation has to happen again about the ref, perhaps, and people complaining that the refs are going to ruin the game and stuff. Because there were people tweeting about
nonsense.
it and stuff.
If the only way in which the red card has ruined the game is that the player who got sent off has committed a foul in such a way that you can't fault the referee for the decision of sending said player off, when the responsibility lies solely upon the shoulders of the player who committed said offence.
Yeah.
And so if the game is ruined, don't blame the ref, blame the dickhead who took the guy out in the air and spun him around for landing on his head.
And that's the penalty.
Yeah, and the thing is, if the red cards do ruin the game in like 90% of the time.
I mean, in fairness, the Lions did stay reasonably competitive.
Oh, they did. They went quite well in the last 15, 20 minutes, which is when usually the Crusaders are at their best. But you can always say travel, altitude. The Lions are also quite good in the last 20 usually.
Yeah.
But my point is that the Reds does sort of need to ruin the game and the competitive aspect of it. Otherwise, you can do whatever you want and you get away with it.
Yeah.
So I've seen somebody on Twitter post something that seems quite reasonable, so like saying, oh, maybe a red card could be 20 minutes off, and the guy doesn't come back at all. He's substituted by someone else. And at first you think, oh, that's not too bad. It would ruin the game a bit less. But then you think, well, it allows you to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And the consequence is not that big.
You're letting your team down. Yeah. That's the point.
There's like an intermediate level maybe. I mean, if there was a card between a red and a yellow that, you get subbed off permanently
Amber
after...
card.
Or orange or whatever.
If you press your foot down, you can still.
Or if I'm sure I've seen that if you get 2 yellows, then granted you get after the 10 minutes you get permanently sub rather than being straight red. But it's still.
If you add another card, you add more.
Yeah.
More talking points because the lines are even harder. It's so difficult to define.
The complexity.
It's difficult.
What would the?
That's true.
The white card that got trialled like 3 or 4 seasons ago, was that just basically a thing for the citing commission to have a look at?
Yes.
That was, I'm not sure, but I think the video ref will see something I've missed. I think
basically
that's what it was.
That's now just been taken over by the TMO mid-game.
And they cite anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was the referee saying, honestly, I don't know, we'll have a look later.
But it's not something that they were able to look at the time.
Yeah.
Because the TMO rules hadn't, or laws hadn't been implemented at the time.
Yeah, I think they...
Clearly it wasn't that interesting.
I don't think TMOs are written into laws. I think they're like... Aren't they
rules within a tournament? They're not written into laws, but they can now intervene if something has happened. Whereas before they were only ever try or no try, or as any reason I can't award the try. But now they're able to look back an extra phase or two, and if there's foul play or whatever,
they can call.
There is something that they can call the ref's attention to make sure.
I was going to say you can read my article about it, but it's not come out.
It's not.
So I've
Simon,
started writing about this, about the difference between the law and the protocols.
Oh yeah.
So there's the law is the rules of the game, and protocols is what the refs have, and there's also guidance or guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And the protocol is to call the TMO. The TMO calls the ref without the ref calling him for foul play. But the reality is, he can call him when he wants.
Yeah.
but
You hear that a lot.
But they only do it for that. And the other way is also the same. So the referee calls the TMO for help before a try. So in the lead up to a try or potential try or for foul play. But for example, in the Lions. Last call, controversial call by the way, but the referee did call the TMO, which is not usual because he wanted to get the call right, and he could have not called the TMO. Wait,
what action was this for, sorry?
The third test, so the accidental, non-accidental offside of Ken Owens. So the interesting thing there is that he did call the TMO when normally he wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously Piper's problems were weighing on his mind, or...
That wasn't Piper.
Scotland, Australia. Yeah, sorry.
That was Craig Joubert.
Sorry. But that was obviously weighing on his mind. And I
think so.
Yeah, and I feel like that was obviously I think it was a good move. I did see some people, and they were tweeting on it.
I don't think anyone really had a problem with him doing that, more with the call that he actually made.
There was a Kiwi woman tweeting at our Linebreak account telling us that we were wrong because he should never have been allowed to go to the TMO.
But he is allowed. So it's not really in the way to do things, but he is allowed.
And I was, everyone was saying, oh, look, he went for the penalty and he ended up not because, he saw something that wasn't a penalty. But he went originally to work out if it was a penalty.
Yeah.
So, there was all of that nonsense. And obviously Twitter's the worst place to have a conversation.
Which is why we're really active on it.
Well, yeah. We're a lot... Well, actually, I've almost given up Reddit. I hadn't even noticed you changed your flair recently.
Oh, no. Yeah, you
I was talking about Twitter.
Yeah, I know, but I was just thinking
he's
my social media has just dropped off the edge of the earth.
It's probably sensible, to be honest. It's
I
not
feel
healthy.
better. I feel better for it. It was maybe I was just because I'm on holiday. Maybe when I go back, it'll kick back in. But the week's holiday and being off Reddit and Twitter. I was on Twitter actually, as Fred's saying.
Talking about what the refs can and can't do. I think the interesting thing is that we often forget that they're allowed to say, "Please don't take the piss." Like, not everything has to be the way that, like, they're not a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
They're called, exactly. We were talking about this earlier. They're not called lawyers. They're called referees.
Yeah.
They can still go to players and be, "Can you please not take the piss?" So when people imagine that everyone's going to jump in the air to avoid tackles,
even for things like when nines will try and milk a penalty by throwing the ball at an offside player who's not retreated back.
Great example.
It is perfectly within the ref's, right as he
remit or whatever.
Yeah, if in his interpretation, the nine is doing that deliberately and doesn't have to do that, he can tell him, don't do that.
And
otherwise, you will get penalised.
I've seen recently a really good ref say to the nine, "I'll give you that one."
Yeah,
because it's common practice.
But don't do that again.
Okay, don't do that again. Next time I won't give it.
I often think in those situations, sometimes the refs annoy me when they say don't do that, because there are times when there's a lazy runner and he would have thrown that pass, and it's perfectly possible to him to readjust where he throws the ball. But if the player's in the perfect line, then they have been an issue. And you can, it's like I said, you can change your direction.
Yeah, sure,
and put
but
it back.
there are.
But it's kind of the argument of football players that say, "Oh no, I didn't really dive because there was contact, so he could have pushed me."
That's the issue.
It's so complex.
That's the issue.
I think you've got to judge it. There's a even the refs say there's a feel for it.
But I'm sure I have seen. See, my instinct is to immediately go for Mike Phillips because he's the only one I can remember. But that's just me bagging on the Welsh again, which, in fairness, I've not done in a while. I'm just sure I can remember. I think an Irish player on all fours on his side, and him throwing the pass, and it being a lot lower than it had any right to be. Mm-hmm. But because it had hit the player, he's offside. He's not retreated back. The penalty's to you.
Yeah.
And I can't remember whether it was. So that does happen, and
it's just an annoying
again,
thing.
it's ref's interpretation of what
and
does and does constitute
I suppose
fair
that's
play.
why people do discuss who the ref is, because each ref's going to have a different interpretation of how quick the ruck is, how quick the breakdown.
Well, that happens. You have Wayne Barnes, for instance, will be harsh on a lot of things very early on, and then less harsh as it goes on because the game will have started. The players should hopefully have adjusted to how he's reffing. A lot of people. Nigel Owens, I think, lets a lot go at the breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
And some people are very fond of this, some people aren't, but it means that the game flows a bit more.
Yeah.
People say that he can be whistle happy or loves the sound of his own voice, but he's aiding the flow of the game to get everything along. Joubert is just an erratic mess, I think. Doesn't know what he's doing.
He's not really
French refs, just all of them high as fuck. Every game they play because
I used to agree with that, but you've been proved by Garcés and by Poit that are actually top refs.
I cannot stand up for Poit, but Garcés is a decent ref for a Frenchie.
For a Frenchie.
Anyone calls Jerome is a hero.
Huh?
I don't know any Jeromes.
Jerome.
Kano.
Kano. He owes you a World
sorry.
Cup.
I retract.
We were discussing earlier. Fred wants his World Cup back. Kano, if you're listening, which you're not.
But if you are,
but you should be.
You owe him a World Cup.
You owe me personally a World Cup.
No one's going to get this shit.
And don't send it by DHL because they really suck. So
Jerome Kano
has
have
to bring it
personally
it's personal.
Fred here.
Absolutely. But no, I don't have beef with the All Blacks or even Craig Joubert because he's the referee.
Not sponsored by DHL.
It is a slight against Fred, to his very core, a slight to his character that he owes him a World Cup.
He owes me a World Cup.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. But he
doesn't come across as I wouldn't say lovely.
As soon as he gives me my World Cup, I'll love him again.
I would describe Kano as
a
a
name
hard
like
bastard,
Jerome.
to be honest.
Oh yeah, on the pit. Yeah, who doesn't like that?
Lovely bloke.
Dear, oh dear.
What else do we want to talk about?
Well,
that's
if we're done with the Lions and the Crusaders, I was going to mention something that we hadn't actually talked about beforehand.
Go on. I'm excited.
To quote Eddie Jones,
that's worrying.
If he's fit, we'll play him.
Oh, the Demolisher.
The Demolisher. The man who single-handedly, with the slight help of Brad Barrett and Chris
Anderson,
ruined the All Blacks, 5 years ago now? 4.5 years ago?
Are you talking about groin injury?
Manu Tuolangi, perpetual groin injury that he is. Eddie holds him in such high regard.
I thought he was retired.
No.
He has the legs of 100 years old.
Every 6 months there is a new problem. And the last time, not the last time, the time before last, it was, he's got this problem, but we've found out that it's not the actual problem, it's something that looks like a problem for everything else. And we've fixed it. And so after that, he'll be right as rain. And then he came back and got injured again. His agent
told whatever club is paying him.
But he is now training.
Tigers are still paying him, aren't they?
They are, but I don't think they're paying him. I mean, he's on like 600 grand a year.
No, he's on a lot.
But he should be paid. It's not his fault he's injured.
He's
not doing it on purpose.
It's just they'd be stupid to offer him another contract.
Yeah.
Or is he?
Genius.
He's a great player. I mean, I love Manu Tuolangi.
I want him to be in the England team, but
I don't think he's.
I don't know if he fits.
Where does he fit? And if he does, who gets?
Well, he kicks Joseph out.
I'm not bothered by that for the time being.
Yeah, Joseph's tall.
My opinion on Joseph runs very hot and cold depending on how hot and cold he's playing.
Depending on whether or not he's playing Scotland.
I still think he's quality.
Yeah, fine, that's it. Manu Tuolangi plays 12 out of 13 games a year for England, and the 13th is when Joseph plays for us against Scotland, and we'll be right as rain.
Joseph does so much for England that taking him out after all these years.
His defensive work is almost unparalleled in our team.
And he works with Watson so well.
Yeah.
And those two are really.
He's the only person he'll pass to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not actually wrong.
What's his name? Ben Teo is what, 30, 31?
Well, he's not making the World Cup, is he?
No, but
yes, he is.
He's good enough. I'm not saying
Ben Teo is making the World Cup.
Point is, he was basically brought in as a replacement for Tuolangi. Tuolangi is
I
fit.
don't believe that.
Teo doesn't.
I think I don't buy that. I did at the start, and I didn't buy it anymore.
Teo's a monstrosity.
They actually have different styles.
I really enjoyed watching him play for the Lions.
You don't play Teo at 13.
No.
And I think Tuolangi is a great 12 as well. He prefers 13, but he can play either. There's no problem.
Teo's a Sonny Bill Williams.
The alternative is
really. He's much more like Sonny Bill Williams.
This is where it gets dicey because do you really want to break up something that wins? And especially this is basically sacrilege after the summer tour in Argentina.
Oh, we're going to have this discussion, are we?
Farrell to 10, Tuolangi to 12.
Yeah, see, I'm out. No, I don't want it. I was saying
about England. This could get worse.
See how well
you did bring up Tuolangi.
You see how well I've orchestrated this, so we're now on to England.
If we briefly mentioned...
Fred's got no chance.
He's been thinking about this for a week.
We had this conversation earlier.
We had so many conversations.
We had this conversation all the time.
We had this in the pub, and I was talking to a friend of mine who kind of half listens. He might be listening now. But he watched the Lions tour, but didn't watch the tour to Argentina. And the problem is, if you're an England fan, and you didn't watch the tour to Argentina, your opinion of Farrell went through the roof, and your opinion of Ford disappeared because you didn't see what he did.
Would your opinion of Farrell go through the roof?
He played very well.
No, he didn't.
He didn't play very well.
He was the choice 12 for the Lions. Defensively, he was a rock, and he kicked off the tee fine enough.
Yeah, he did very well off the tee. He wasn't shit, but he
wasn't himself. He's
There's a long tour. I mean, Jack Noel had an off game as well. I mean, all the players had little tweaks where they weren't perfect. I don't think anyone...
I think Farrell was more... I mean, out of all the 10s, I still think he was the best of the 3, but...
Yeah, and obviously it's a position where Sexton was so up and down and Bigger was not the best. But yeah, I mean, your opinion of Farrell, he's beaten New Zealand.
Yeah, as I say, it's sacrilege to say such a thing, and I agree with that. I do. It was just a hypothetical because his performance in Argentina was just utterly sensational. If he keeps that up, there's no moving.
Especially as the Argentinian team was quite a good team. It wasn't like they were playing a rubbish B team versus our B team. It was a decent side.
No, they usually lose in June
because
Argentina have usually put a really C team in June, which loses to everyone but France.
They did, but there wasn't. But that's what I mean. It wasn't a C team.
Was the 27-0 against or for France?
4, but we were still dominated by basically 15-year-old Argentinians.
Yeah, but
who were just coming back from a barbecue.
A D team though, didn't you, last year? That was.
Yeah, but Argentina have a thing, and they get under our skin in a way that no one else manages.
This is what makes Pool C so interesting.
They front up in that front row, and the French are usually dominant in the front row.
No, but Argentina, really interesting team.
Yeah.
But there was one year where we lost the first game against literally teenagers because their best 30 players were all in the US. No, that was a few years ago. I think 3 or 4 years ago. And the A and B team were in the US, in Texas,
why?
Getting ready for the rugby championship.
Oh, right. So it
and
can't have been that long
ago. C team
ago.
beat France in Argentina. And it was just...
What are you doing?
I don't know if it's even on.
I've been recording for 20 minutes.
Oh, we're doing right.
Only 20 minutes. Right, as long as we don't talk
what was
about
the next topic we had lined up?
Next topic. Okay, there's Premiership or Women's World Cup.
What do we want to end on the Premiership?
I don't know.
We can start with the Premiership by saying it's clearly the shittest... It's clearly the shittest competition. Because
did you see that? There's a comment on the sub by some New Zealand guy getting all high and mighty saying how it's a shit
He comments.
He can be so reasonable, and then other times he's just an
he comments in all the
dick.
Super Rugby threads constantly, and he's all right. But then he came out, and I was just like, that's not a comment where...
If you're listening.
If he is, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What he said makes no sense.
Yeah, but no, I was going to respond to the comment. I was just like, there was no reason to say any of that, because we weren't talking about
Can you please say what he said? Because I'm
I'll
confused.
find it.
Said,
and the 4 people listening to this are confused.
It's true. Right, what he said was... the question was, is the Aviva Prem popular in England?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw
that was the question. And the guy responded saying, if you ask an Englishman, it's the best competition in the world or something. And I was just...
That's not the question.
Exactly. I was like, you haven't answered. What you've done is just created a false question and then gone, Englishmen, they talk about is the Aviva.
You should get into politics. Then.
Yeah. He answered the question he wanted to be asked.
Yeah.
And I was saying
he got pilloried for it, in fairness, but it was still so...
Should we try to answer that question? It's actually a good question.
Well, is it popular in England?
Yeah,
sure. It's
I think it's not very popular in the sense that
you don't talk about it in the workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
That's because no one watches rugby.
But that's it. That's the.
But no, that's not an issue about the Premiership. That's an issue of. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. Because football is the number 1 in England, and I suppose
it's the working man's game.
But number 2 is probably also
not
football.
Just that's the point. To the point that if there's no internationals on.
People don't give a shit.
After a rugby game on a Saturday in England, my teammates are talking about football, not the Premiership.
Yeah.
They're not talking about the Aviva, they're talking about the Barclays Premiership.
Yeah. Even in Scotland. I mean, they're not even talking about... They might mention the fact that Scotland have a game coming up, or an international game, and they maybe will mention Glasgow. Edinburgh doesn't get mentioned, and we're closest to Edinburgh.
And they all have a team that they support, but they don't really watch it.
They don't watch it, and if they do well, they'll be really happy about it. But they don't. It's not a day-to-day thing.
No,
whereas football.
But I think that just within. I don't know. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe
I know we're comparing the biggest sport, the sport that basically molds.
But I mean, even
minds in the UK.
Would you even say that rugby is the second sport in England, or would that be cricket or tennis?
No,
it's probably the second, but it's just such a far away.
Cricket's difficult because I don't consider it a sport.
See, I disagree.
Brilliant.
He's French, so there's no cricket. They don't do cricket.
They don't understand
the French don't do cricket. It's an aristocracy.
What is this?
No, actually, I think cricket is very popular. You're right.
I mean, it is
in the evening standards.
Technically, it's still the season.
I mean, technically cricket's
it's different season.
Easily the second biggest sport in the world, just because by sheer numbers alone.
Well, India.
Is it played in China?
It's played in
China.
India.
Then it isn't. So.
Well, it's still, it's player base.
Yeah, but India only has 1 billion people.
Its supporter base is still okay. Fine, you've got
India.
You've got.
I think it's. I'd argue it's
you have lots
because of China.
You have lots of the colonies basically.
China
there
obsessed with basketball.
There are lots of the colonies.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think I did know that. They're also obsessed with baseball.
But that's
no, that's
Japan.
That's a bit racist of me.
I mean,
a little bit, yeah.
Obviously, I'm just gonna skate on through.
Yeah.
Do that.
Well, I should call you out probably.
Oh
but
no, I don't know. Ignore that, please. Oh dear.
The Aviva struggles, but it doesn't struggle in terms of earning money.
It does generally fill stadiums, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. It struggles with engagement and intelligent conversation. That's
why we're here.
Well, to a point. To a point.
Intelligent.
But if you boil it down to even on a Reddit scale or a Twitter scale, hashtag scale, you'll get.
They can't trend particularly well.
You'll get 30 comments on a match thread for a rugby game. Probably less, and it'll be the same 5 people talking.
Yeah.
Fewer people talking. And then we'll have Twitter, a hashtag will not trend. Unless it's the biggest, even the biggest game, a final, will struggle to trend on Twitter. Where you'll get a boring game like Stoke v Hull or something.
Yeah, Japan, South Africa probably got there, but that's probably as good as it's going to get for rugby.
And that was
the game. That was even at an international level. That was
international and Premiership, and not so.
Yeah, they're not comparable. I get that. Then my point was that if a game of that game's magnitude is only just enough to get there. I don't even know if it was. I
reckon 80% of the country won't know who Matt Kvesic is.
Yeah,
because he's a club player.
Shit.
Yeah,
even fewer can say his name.
He's a club player.
Because I don't know.
He's a club player, and
he's not great.
He's good enough.
Has he not been capped for us once, twice?
He might have been, but even that doesn't register. You know,
I know
they
that.
can name.
Yeah, he was Gloucester's hero before they realised he wasn't that good. That's why he's gone to Exeter.
Now he's bought an Exeter, and he's going to learn how to carry a ball forwards.
He's going to become. What's going to happen? He's going to become the best player in the world in his position until he fucks off in a season. Because Dean Mum came along and suddenly became the best lock or six or whatever the fuck he was in the world.
He had great 2014.
Then he pissed off and he's the most hated man ever.
Justice for Mum. He should have got the captaincy.
The most hilarious thing is that he wasn't bad.
He was quality for Exeter.
No, even after.
He's all
he
right.
Wasn't bad. He wasn't amazing.
J-Barbs will cut your balls off.
Yeah, if he can make it out of Australia.
Yeah.
If he remembers we exist.
He's not.
We should all have a cry now.
But Mum did have a nightmare. I think it's a mentality thing. I think the Waratahs don't actually suit him. They might be him. He might be Waratah through and through. He might be so Australian and so Waratah, but when he goes and plays for them, he's not good.
He's a chief at heart.
Yeah,
that's why he's so shit.
I don't even know if he needs Baxter. He just needs that mentality. He's lost the mentality anyway, and I'm not surprised that he gets a lot of grief. He's not bad. Like he's still a.
He got so much grief. It was just ridiculous. It was to the point that I thought that people might burn his house down.
There was a lot of they were not happy. But then who do they play in the second row? We don't really know enough about Australia, but they've got.
They have this. Waratahs have this really young blonde guy called Hannigan.
Hannigan, yeah. Will Skeleton.
I only know that because a mate played with him at uni.
Will Skeleton.
He didn't. What was the deal with him going to Saracens?
Oh, he went to Saracens to avoid pre-season.
All right.
So he could keep bulking.
That's genuinely. So he went to Saracens for 3 months. He was awesome. And he didn't have to do pre-season because it was during the Super Rugby pre-season. Got a bit of money, which he deserves.
The good special.
And went back, and I've not really seen much of him.
I actually feel, I know obviously pre-season means that they're probably allowed to play rugby, but I actually feel that the whole transition thing, and Harble and CC have probably talked about this, but the fact that the Cheetahs and the Kings are basically playing 2 seasons back to back, non-stop. I get that they've got this break because they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that seems really intense for a rugby player.
You've seen what it did to Michalak.
Yeah.
What did it do to Michalak?
Well, it made him from a really good 10 to a really shit 10.
He was burned out.
It's been a while. I've forgotten he existed. To be fair.
And
I used to really like him.
I think it was form. Like he was
burned out.
Yeah.
And I think I genuinely feel that people like Skeleton coming over. I keep saying his name weirdly each time. Skeleton. There you go.
It's not that difficult.
It's like a helter-skelter, but with an on instead of an
but whatever. It's having players like him come over for a little bit, and I think someone else did it as well.
Don't quite a few players play, between seasons in the Super League?
But I still don't agree. But then, I still don't agree with that
And that's, granted, it's not as heavy hitting.
Well, Ghetto and George Smith went over there.
Yeah, but George Smith has been playing continuously.
George Smith has been playing rugby for the last 20 years.
Very conditioned. I think he's a whole different beast as a mental.
No, he's not. He's not
entirely
human.
sure he's human.
There's places in evolution. I think him and Nandolo and George Smith are the next step.
Yeah.
So that then they're not the same level of human.
Although Nandolo at Exeter was terrible, by the way.
Nandolo was at Exeter
a long time ago.
Yeah, it was at Exeter.
Jesus, no way.
2011.
Oh, really? That recently?
And he got done for drunk driving.
All right.
And he was awful. And Exeter went, we can't really pay or bother. And then we got a points penalty because he wasn't registered properly because he didn't have some permits. Something went wrong.
He had
Exeter were rubbish.
But that was a long time ago.
He had an absolute nightmare. And
then he fucked off.
It wasn't
and got
in
good.
was it? I think it was in Championship, wasn't it?
We may have either just got promoted. He only played like 1 or 2 games, so to be honest with you, his impact on the actual rugby
look at him
was
in the
limited.
last 6 or 7
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's been quality.
It's just ridiculous.
He's been quality.
He's in France now, yeah?
Yeah, he's in Montpellier.
Was playing for the Crusaders.
But
He was playing for the Crusaders. He's been in Montpellier for
2 seasons.
That's going to be in his second season, I think.
Okay.
But I do still put that down to Baxter eyeing a prize. Because he wasn't really on anyone's radar. The fact that he was even going to Exeter, who were a kind of a minnow, well, not kind of, were a proper minnow. Nandolo. Well, Dean Mum as well. He was the end of his career. It was a bit different. But Nandolo was still a pick out of nowhere, and he's become world class at the end of the day.
Do you think having a nose that much to the side impeaches your breathing?
What?
Dean Mum's nose is basically outside of his face.
Is it that far sideways?
Yeah, it's worse than...
It's like Tyrion in the
worse
books.
than Tyndall or something.
It's as bad as Tyndall and worse than... what's his name?
What's his name? Whoever we were watching earlier on. Quagga.
Quagga.
Oh, Quagga. No, Quagga is sideways and enormous.
Has he got a mash nose as well?
Well, it's sideways. When you look at his profile, it's a straight line from his forehead down to the top tip of his nose. But when you look at him front on, it does like a little crick thing.
Okay. I'll have to...
He looks like an Easter Island head.
Yeah, we thought he was 30-something and turned out he's 24.
Yeah.
Oh, the opposite way around for Yantes then. We thought he was 24.
Yantes is 30.
He's 27.
No, Yantes is 27. Yeah. Or 39.
Fred fed me some wrong information and made me look like a tosser.
That's why you've now gone into a Twitter fight with some dick.
Yeah. someone, and he immediately was like, "Oh, this guy knows nothing."
I have a very special relationship with numbers.
Yeah. It's because it's your second language, so they're just interchangeable.
Yes, actually, the French for 24 and 27 is the same.
Yeah, exactly. Vante. Yeah. They often get really confused doing the budgets in France. Really confused. Yeah. Slip of the tongue. Yeah. We'll leave that because I don't think there's even a jumping off point. We can't
follow on.
We can't move into that.
No one knows what's happening.
This is worse than what you said earlier.
We were all under the impression that podding in the same room would make this flow better.
Yeah.
It's gone wrong.
There's no jumping off point. So
are we on Premiership still, or are we moving?
No,
we haven't talked about it at all, have we?
Women's World Cup.
Okay, fine. Here's just a quick thing.
France is going to win because we've got the sexiest shirt in the world.
Hydroid wanted us to do...
You really don't. Have you seen the away kit? It's fucking awful.
We've got our home kit.
It looks like a rugby league
Our away kit.
It looks like a rugby league kit. It's a plain white colour with 2 chevrons. It's fucking rugby league.
I quite like it. I don't...
The chevron on the rugby league kit is only at the top. The second one is.
Right, I've got 2 points to make about both.
I have many points.
I have 2 points to make on that subject specifically. Right, so when Fred posted it, great title, managed to get quite a good boost off the title alone. Right, so I think
so much goal.
I think the popularity wise, Fred did well on the title, and therefore he got a good boost.
Well, I agree with CC on this one.
But I also legitimately quite liked it anyway. So although it got a false number of upvotes, I still think it was.
I remember I was gonna write that it was the sexiest shirt ever.
But didn't you tag it as not safe for work?
And then no, I put spoiler.
Oh right.
Yeah. The spoiler
Because
I
put spoiler is awesome, and I didn't know that would actually put the spoiler tag.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, spoiler, it's sexy, and then I thought, people are gonna think I'm talking about the women.
Well, some of them are.
That's the issue.
In fairness.
When I'm literally talking about the shirt.
Yeah. Well, that would have been.
So the women in the shirt.
Even better. French. So much
the women without the shirt.
Others.
You know, it's.
We've digressed again.
We've digressed to our roots. They have a very short turnaround on this.
Okay.
It's a 5-day turnaround, and then it's a 4-day turnaround
For the games, you mean?
Yeah.
Women's World Cup, remember?
That's it for the group stages before, because there are only 12 teams.
Yeah, and there's 3 groups.
3 pools.
Which is a very
4 of
weird
each
format.
Well, it's... So,
three,
yeah.
3 groups.
3 groups, 3 pools.
Yeah.
So that means quarter-finalists are basic. In fact, wasn't that... It'll be the same way it was for the 7s at the Olympics, where it'll be the best of each, and then the second best of each, and then the best 2 left.
I'll tell you why that's a headache. It's a
Euro?
headache for infographic makers. That's what that's a headache for.
Yeah.
That's just hard work.
If you remember that's the only time where football's accepted. The Euro in France last year.
But, I mean, how else would they... I mean, if they did 4 pools of 3, they'd be a bit...
Yeah, no, but what I mean is it's
work.
really difficult.
This looks
it's so much easier to have just 16 teams, for example.
Jesus, that's a pool of death at the bottom.
They could have done a round robin type thing.
Pool
Pool C is much harder than the others. It's Australia, France, Ireland, and Japan.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hard pool.
Well, no, they might all make it through, but actually maybe not, because if they're all
France
quite
and
close,
Ireland are basically on the same level.
then but if they all make it, I mean, put it this way: the top 2 of each will.
Australia.
Okay, so let's have a quick look. England will get through with Spain, I would imagine.
Pool B, England is way above everyone.
Yeah.
Spain, USA, and Italy are nowhere near England.
Canada and New Zealand are breezing through Pool A.
Exactly. Canada and New Zealand are way above Wales and Hong Kong.
So really, it's up to.
So it's Pool C. That's
Wales aren't that bad.
No, but
they're not.
And they're going to get a win
Yeah,
against Hong Kong. But the issue is if it's the best 2 of each and then the 2 remaining. I think B is the most interesting there, because if England is so high above the others,
It's who's fighting.
Could
the
be
other
interesting
3
between the others.
The other 3 will only 1 get out, or will 2 get out, because it's so open.
I think C's
I think Italy should be. The problem is we only watch the highlights of the Six Nations really, and I think Italy have had individual performances in the last few years when they've
Scotland aren't
beaten
even playing.
France once, beaten maybe not England, but they've beaten other teams.
But I suppose
they're far from awful.
I'm just thinking.
Is Scotland not in there?
No.
So Scotland is not in there. South Africa's not in there.
No.
And
South Africa, I think, have had another problem. I don't know whether it's to do with funding, or just that their women's team just is getting shafted by whatever governing body they have.
I know
because
they were
I think the
awful
same
at
was
last
for
World Cup,
the same was for happened I think for the women's 7s at the Olympics.
Do we go in on the RFU about this cutting contracts? Because we
we
didn't
did in
discuss
the
it.
last one.
Did we discuss it?
I did with Adam.
Yeah, because
You did with Adam.
Yeah.
that was a load of bullshit, and I think it's.
I just got very fed up about it because who's it? The dead ball area guy. He's usually spot on about these sorts of things. We were talking about it. The reason for cut from an outside perspective looks as if it's to save a bit of money.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And we were talking on Twitter about it. I was saying, well, they've given them contracts and then taken them away, which is worse than if they had just never given them the contracts.
And these, just for, what's the best way to put it? Clarification, maybe. They got the contracts they originally got. They got because of the last Women's World Cup, which was 2014 in France. England beat Canada in the final.
Yeah.
And so on the back of that tournament,
So it got a boost.
most of the not all, but I think about most of the England
16 players. I remember I've done the research and it's in the previous podcast. 16 sevens players are fully professional.
Yeah.
15 players, and there's another 16 contracts which are part-time contracts to help those who are amateur to be more or less professional during the time they're preparing for events like the World Cup.
So, but there were, the England team is filled with our sevens players, and so the sevens players are all already on permanent contracts. It's most
16 of them. So clearly, basically the whole team, and I think if not all of them almost all of them.
And so most of them come through to, not all of them, because I do know that they still went on the circuit. Wait, am I thinking of it backwards? Because most of the 15s team fuck off to do the 7s, don't they?
Yeah, so almost all the backline play 7s.
Yeah. I think the issue I really had fundamentally with it is that the RFU took a gamble, and we'll call it a business gamble, because in reality it should just be the norm that they get paid to play at the highest level. But they took a business gamble, and they decided, look, we're going to pay our top end players because they're the best in the world anyway, and we want them to get even better to dominate the sport. What England have then done is pretty much dominate the sport. They beat New Zealand in New Zealand. They've done really well, and they're going into this next World Cup as the favourites. The problem is that the RFU have gone, nobody else has done this.
Yeah.
We're paying our players and no other women's team is getting paid. So they're seeing that as a waste.
What's the point?
Yeah, they're seeing that as a waste. But they're meant to be pioneering. They're the richest club or the richest organiser union. There you go. They're the richest union in the world. And if the richest union in the world cannot stump up a small amount, in the grand scheme of the RFU, cannot stump up a small amount per year for the top level girls to play, it's an absolute joke, really. And
well, you've mentioned earlier, but you didn't actually say it, were you talking about the difference in amount if England had won or lost the game against Ireland in the Six Nations?
Yeah.
So because they won the Six Nations, they got a big bonus.
Yeah.
Which is completely fair. I think the men's make a lot of money for the RFU by playing. They should get a massive reward for it.
This is the fact that the England women got a Grand Slam, didn't they?
No, it's not that. So if because they won, they got a nice bonus. I can't remember the figure.
Yeah.
If they'd won the Grand Slam, so if they won in Ireland,
even more.
The figure would have been 80 grand more.
Yeah.
No, not for each.
But total.
No, way more.
There's a big pot.
Yeah.
I mean, they get around 20 grand for an England match anyway.
All of that
they?
money, all of that money is. I mean, I know economics is not that simple, but given that they would have given them that money if they scored 2 more points in Ireland.
Yeah.
Which is conceivable.
Which means it's on the books and possible to be used.
Exactly, it's possible to be
one
used.
way
It means they've got that money, so you can't argue because those players it's 16 contracts times 3.
And to reiterate,
it's not a lot of money.
The England women during the Six Nations, they got a fucking Grand Slam. So it's.
And it's what it represents as well.
I mean, I do find it.
They represent the 16 best women in our country.
23 best. Well, yeah.
23, well, as contracts. But yeah, the 23, they're the top. You've got girls, young girls, teenagers, all looking up and going, it's a career path of sorts. Obviously, it's a bit unconventional at the moment because there's only 16. There's not a lot of people who get it. But it's still a career path.
Rocky Clark is the most capped England player ever. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And yet, RFU, fuck them, don't care. We've got what we need.
There's the other side.
How much do you think they make?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot at all.
They're all. If you look at the RFU YouTube, because they use them quite a lot for advertising. I think that's a great thing.
They've got a
because they use them for the spirit of rugby. For we're barely professional. We're pretty much the.
Yeah.
They pretty much represent in many ways the amateur game.
2 hours ago, O2 inside line.
Red Roses.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
The Red Roses are on their video.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they've got to promote because the World Cup starts in 4 days, 5 days.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're going to play the World Cup, if they win, is so their contracts are about to expire and they're not getting renewed.
Not with the RFU, no.
Is it? I mean. So are they doing it differently? Is it provisional? If they win, they'll get offered the contracts again, or if not, are they just fucked?
So practically, in a month, there's 16 women who are unemployed. So do they will they be world champion on their CV?
Yeah.
Well,
but also, what is there? This must completely suck for the women playing because they're about to be turfed out for seemingly no reason at all, and so
there's meant to be something coming in. I think. This is what we heard. The rumblings were that
I mean, isn't there was going to be
a women's premiership, and one of the teams isn't being included or something, and there was a whole
Oh
chat
yeah,
about
Just
that.
listen to the pod.
We didn't listen to Fred.
Sorry, I listened. We should move on.
I edited it. Didn't listen. I edited it and didn't listen.
No, you didn't. I did.
Is it Lichfield?
Oh no, yeah, he did. No, I tried to edit it.
It took me only 4 days.
Lichfield?
Lichfield didn't get included.
yes.
Yeah.
Lichfield.
It's just outside Birmingham, I think. I checked it. I can't remember. It's in the
But
Midlands.
if you want more, I tell you what we need to. I need to talk. I've got someone I wanted to bring in who is actually
Why aren't they here?
a woman who could actually talk about it. Would be a better option
Yeah,
than us.
my man boobs on enough.
Yeah, I mean, 3 guys chatting about women's rugby is probably not the best.
I think my cup size beats
Although
yours.
We're basically American.
We
politics,
do fit. We
fit a certain demographic.
We do feel like we're trying to talk from their path, but we're not. We're not the.
I'm just
To be
using
fair,
it as
we're
an
talking
excuse
about
to talk
pro
about
rugby
England
and we're
some
nowhere
more.
near it.
Yeah.
Well, we're not that far. Twickenham's only a couple miles.
No, at home with rugby. I was there the other day. Snapchat. Don't worry.
I drive past it every week. I've got shit to do on the other side of town, so I drive past.
Yeah, I walked past yesterday. No, Wednesday.
What else? What else have we got on the agenda?
Premiership.
Oh, we didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't talk about the World Cup apart from.
Oh, we
the fact
didn't.
that
Okay,
we didn't
fine.
really.
Well,
Okay,
who do we think's going to win? I think
France.
toss up. You reckon the French are really?
Okay.
I mean, they've got a shot, but
Well, you know what I want to know?
If you want to see,
Actually-
if you want to see some quality mauling, you want to watch us.
they are the forwards-based team, eh?
Yeah,
Well, most of them are, to be fair.
despite
but
the fact that we're actually some really good. We've got a pretty good sevens team now, so I assume they're more or less the same backline.
I think
Yeah.
the
But our
what
forwards
I
is
want to
where the
find
firepower is. Our
is-
back row is awesome.
yeah, fair play.
I'm curious to know our backs are awesome and our forwards.
Scarra,
I'm
in
curious.
particular.
Amy Wilson-Hardy,
Yeah,
Sarah Hunter.
the girls. They're quality. There's some. There are
This
some.
is what you want to edit out.
Yeah, this is, to be fair, because Ed's on a different track. I'm talking about rugby standards. These girls
Yeah.
are very good at rugby.
Emily Scarrett's fucking fantastic.
She's amazing. Yeah, quality player. Is he Noel or something? I've forgotten her name now. I shouldn't bring her up if I've forgotten her name.
Waterman.
Waterman's good.
Yeah, that's what they've done well. Also,
Nonny.
with our pro contracts is that we
Nonny Side.
see those
Yeah.
players playing a lot more because
Yeah.
they also put out the video. So they've done brilliant work for 1 year,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating that they're getting rid of it
Look,
because
I mean,
they've
here-
actually done brilliant work.
Yeah. And it's been a great advert for the game. And I bet participation numbers are up
Yeah.
for women around the country.
Yeah.
I bet they're up.
I've had this conversation 2 days ago with the guy
With Adam?
from my junior club.
Yeah.
And basically,
Yeah.
I'm coaching the under 13s, and in the under 11s now they're going to be, or under 10, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
There's one category where we have 6 girls, and when they're playing 7 aside, they just get one boy to play with all the girls,
Yeah.
and they play a team, and all of the other teams in like a small tournament where, not festivals, go like, oh yeah, we'll play the girls, and they get smashed.
Yeah.
Because those 6 are actually the 6 best players in that age group.
Yeah.
And so-
They trial a fire almost because they'll come up against it.
So we're trying to get this group to keep playing rugby and to have it to create for the first time a girls team at under 13 when they reach that age.
It's with less than a week to go before the Women's World Cup. World Rugby Chairman Bill Beaumont expects the tournament to inspire a new generation of girls and boys to play the game.
So he's saying that and doing another thing on the other hand, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's part of the issue. They can spike about legacy and inspiration and all of this, and then just really wreck.
Come and
the top
play
level.
rugby for England, and we won't pay
That's
you.
why you should always support France, because you know the FFR doesn't give a shit about
true, the
anything.
FFR
Whereas the RFU made you think
Who
they
are
gave
you?
a shit.
Citron Blue.
The
okay.
FFR is actually bullshit.
What I want to find out is
You are the blue lemon.
how exactly does it work when they qualify for the quarters, or will they just do semis?
That's what I
and
mean.
go-
The
No,
infographic.
it's semis.
The infographic's really hard.
So will
Wait,
it, no.
no,
So
there's three
either
quarters, there's two minimum.
it's the top 2 of each pool and 2 others make quarters, or it's the top 1 of each and 1 other make semis. And I'm curious to know which one it is because I
Were
don't
there
actually
quarters
know.
last
It's
time?
got to be quarters. There has to be
Why are
quarters.
there
There's too
quarters?
many teams. There's too many teams to not do
I'm
quarters.
confused
There's
now.
going
Where
to
are
be
their
6.
quarters?
There's going to be 6 going through.
I remember this. So if
Because
I
if
watched
it's
the
like-
France games,
can't have
If it's
semis.
like the Olympic sevens, there are quarters because same setup of 3
Yeah.
pools of 4 teams. But I don't necessarily, as far as I can.
I think it's like the Olympics. That's the only.
There is no indication on this. You know this app, which is supposed to be really good.
What's it called?
Ultimate
Rugby.
It's
that
actually
the one
not.
Right, Ron O'Driscoll, we know you're listening because your name's Harble. Can you make a better app, please?
Or just
he promotes
update it,
does he?
Yeah, he owns it.
Oh, all right, Jesus. Yeah, it's not. I did delete it because I got bored of it. I think
I still got it.
It's still very useful.
It's
still useful.
Gave up on it. Who I like.
Oh, here we go.
Super
there
Rugby.
we go.
Sport 24 is pretty good to keep
Wait,
up with.
shit, hang on.
The South African stuff is quite good.
They're doing. I mean, they're going all out. I take it back. They've got 9th place semi-final, 5th place semi-final.
Yeah, it's kind of like the under-20s. They want more games.
Wait, shit.
That's good.
No quarters.
No quarters, semis.
No quarters.
That's what I thought, because last time I've watched all of the France games.
Weird.
And I don't remember a quarter. I remember the semi, we lost to Canada.
How does that work?
And I remember the bronze final, we beat Ireland.
Best team of it. Well, best.
Yeah, but then they need a 4th best team.
Yeah, whoever is best out.
Yeah, whoever loses.
Suddenly it gets interesting again.
Pool C.
It gets interesting.
Pool C is the most interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's the same. You've got 4 teams.
Oh no.
So you've got 4 competitions then.
So you've got England clearly through on Pool B, but then Pool C.
We said that.
France, Ireland, Australia, or
it's gonna be ridiculous.
New Zealand, Canada. Which one of who doesn't make the cut?
Well, last time
New Zealand and Canada
didn't make the cut
at all. Jesus.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the semis
we beat Ireland.
were Ireland, England, and France, Canada.
So the women's, what we've established is it's more competitive than the men's.
Well,
obviously there was a pool of depth.
It is in the sense. It is because there are so
but that's
few
because there
teams,
are fewer spots to
it is more competitive. But last time around, some of the pool games were not even slightly
I find
close.
this really weird though. They're doing semi-finals for, they're doing 9th place semi-final, 5th place semi-final.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the cup, the ball, the plate, and the
but no
ball.
quarters. I just think that's a bit weird.
I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, where's the most obvious, if they were to make a 4th pool, where's the most obvious 4 teams that they would pick? And obviously, we might not know enough about
they would have to be
grassroots.
rearranging where the best team...
No, obviously. I'm just thinking of 4 other teams that would exist.
Clearly,
so
South Africa and
South
Scotland.
Africa.
Yeah, but who are the other 2? Is there another
USA?
women's... They're in there.
Yeah, they're in there.
Is there another women's
they're good as well.
up-and-comers?
Spain are in there as well, aren't they?
Namibia, maybe?
Argentina, obviously Argentina, I've never heard of their women's
I don't
team.
know if they've got a women's team.
So we'd have to do some research. I brought it up theoretical just in case you knew.
Well, you can do what the UK does and invent sort of country.
Just make another country.
Jersey.
Midlands. Jersey are probably
Jersey.
Jersey
have a
Cornwall
team.
might want their own team.
Jersey have a team, don't they? So maybe Jersey they could second or whatever.
Falklands.
Maybe Ireland
can represent Argentina.
Split between the 2.
Where else could... anyway, so I'm just thinking to make another pool, would that be a
Probably
feasibility?
not.
Because it would make it more...
That's one thing I was
To be fair, I was taking the piss, but there's actually Hong Kong in there.
Yeah, Hong Kong's in there.
In fact, that's one of the things I was curious about during the Rio Olympics. I'm sure there are enough teams to make 20. There certainly are for the men, and I was quite irritated that there were, because you can do an entire tournament in the men's sevens in 2 days, and the Rio Olympics was over 3, but they did it with 12 teams instead of 20.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you
could have 16.
Well, because they all do those
You don't need
plate
20
semi-finals.
teams.
No, wait, it is 16, not wait, is it 16?
Well, to be fair, you don't want to make it 20 because you only have one team
16
GB
then.
instead of 14.
16, sorry. Either way, they only played with 12 teams in each, and I'm sure they probably could have expanded a bit.
12 is not many.
Without actually affecting adversely any part of the tournament.
I'm changing it completely.
Oh.
England are going to win.
We're talking about New Zealand briefly.
Oh, Brazil!
Oh, they
they were in the Olympics. They were okay.
They've got a team, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
It exists
Brazil.
anyway.
Yeah. Brazil have a team.
They've got 7 players at least.
Surely it's 10.
No, but they're
10. Yeah, they have subs.
They're perfectly decent at sevens.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
They lost, didn't they?
Well, yeah.
No,
well, yeah. So did 11 other teams. Sorry, 10 other teams.
Australia was the top dog.
All about Charlotte Caslick,
She was quality, to be fair.
That tackle against the States, I want to say, was best
thank
ever.
God you said tackle.
What would you think it was?
Yeah, what's the other? Okay. No. Oh, here. Great. Who
New Zealand.
right now? All players. In fact, let's not talk about New Zealand.
Yeah.
Of all players right now, who has the potential to make greatest of all time?
In any position.
French number 8.
Position. French number 8.
Yeah. Safi and they.
Really?
Yeah. She's awesome.
Best ever.
Yeah.
You mean to their position?
You know,
what Dan Carter was
Richie,
to 10,
like
Richie McCaw was to 7.
Yeah.
What Johnny Wilkinson was also to 10.
That's a good one.
I mean,
France.
He did. I tell you what, Johnny,
Every
Johnny
week I
did,
see somebody
Johnny did
arguing that
innovate.
Johnny was better.
Johnny won a World Cup and France didn't because of Jerome Kano.
Yeah, and Dan Carter's never won a World Cup.
He's never won a World Cup. He didn't
he
win
did.
one in 2011.
He won one 2 years ago.
No, because Kano's got it and he's bringing it back.
No, greatest of all time. So you've gone for the French 8.
Greatest of all
Yeah, she's
time.
awesome.
Shit, that's
I mean, it's a tough
and
question.
one of the.
I mean, surely the
French
answer is probably
6 used to play 12 and now
most of
she's
New
playing
Zealand.
6.
Quite a lot. Like, I think Ritalik's up there. He's got the potential.
I thought you were talking about the women still.
Oh, you talk about the women's. I think Scarrett's already the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it can't be an English woman.
But I think she is. I genuinely think she's
Sarah
crossed.
Hunter.
She's
8.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
She's crossed 7s. She's crossed everything. And
Amy
every time
Wilson
she touches
Hardy?
the ball-
because she's crossed the 7
She's
as
not
well.
I just
the
think
best.
Scarrett's
She's
better.
great, but
Scarrett, she is, but I'm just trying to expand.
Yeah.
Because are you thinking best ever just women's play or best ever?
I mean, I was
'cause
thinking the men's, but we
Scarrett's
can talk women.
How many Scarrett did she play? 10 or 13 or both?
13.
Or
Well, she could
so.
play anywhere. It was 13.
Because so
I
best
say
ever.
Retallick.
Best ever.
I'm with you on
I
that.
think Ritalik's a good shout. I mean, I just got called out because I was talking about Sam Cane.
Crotty at 12.
I was talking about Sam Cane.
Not really.
And I thought he's got a track in his life right now where he could Reed retires after this World Cup.
Reed best ever number 8.
Well, yeah, but Reed retires after this World Cup.
Yeah.
The captaincy
There's
can
a guy called Harry Nordic who would like a word with you.
That's true. The captaincy
And
And
King
by
Louis.
word, I mean a
and
punch.
Parise.
And his dad.
And his dad.
But
Ben Morgan.
Kane gets the New Zealand captaincy theoretically
Yeah.
off when Reed retires.
Wait.
Does he?
So
I'm not sure.
I know it's up for grabs, but who do
is
you put in there?
because
Dane
Matt
Cole.
Todd is clearly the best of all.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you put Dane Cole in?
No,
Do you know
Dane
what I
Cole's
mean?
Dane
Great.
Cole's.
Dane Cole's, yeah.
Because
Do you
it's easy.
put
You
Dane
think
Cole's?
of Dan Cole and you add a letter to
Yeah,
both
yes.
names.
But yeah,
And there are still people that say Dan Coles or Dane Cole, and it's all a bit.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, but do you give him the captaincy?
No.
He might be a bit too old. No, I'm not.
Then you give
quite
it
sure
to
how old
do
he
you
is.
give it to TJ or Aaron Smith?
No, you
No.
don't give it to 9.
I just no.
Do
I
you
think
know
you
what I
can
mean?
give it to 9. Just
What
don't give it to
about-
those 9.
What about
feel-
Foden Barrett?
No, I don't think Barrett gets captaincy.
I think Retallick.
What about Yeah.
Retallick might be a bit too.
Retallick didn't know
cave
whoever was.
I'm not saying
No,
he's-
that's so what. It's,
No,
if,
I agree.
If
but
he
there's
doesn't
a
watch
certain
our
level-
rugby, who
it's
gives
the
a
same,
shit?
It's the same thing as just awareness in terms of Johnny May didn't have the awareness to know what a flanker did. It's a small. It's a small thing,
Yeah.
right?
It's a small thing that tells
So what you're
so
saying is
much.
indicator.
Johnny May shouldn't be captain.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%.
I think
Dude.
Johnny May should be captain with Ben Tier as vice captain.
But I think Sam Cane has the potential if he gets a captaincy
Yeah.
and then is better at carrying. Because at the moment, I still think he's shit at ball carrying.
He's not shit.
He dropped the ball. He dropped the ball twice in the Lions tour at key moments, and it looked terrible at the time.
What a
And he did it.
wanker.
And he did it for the Chiefs as well at a certain point in the playoffs. So I mean, there's that part of his game is definitely not good enough. The rest of his game's world class.
Well, the whole island of New Zealand would say he's no Matt Todd.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. Well, Todd's just won the thing.
Yeah.
He got some good
He was
turnovers.
so good
played
today.
really well. But I think Kane's got a trajectory that's possible that he will
Well,
achieve
he's been. I
Could
think.
be, yeah.
I kind of think.
It's been. A
I don't know
slow
whether he
build.
fits that role. He has been very much groomed for that role.
Yeah.
As McCall was on his way out, and a couple of seasons before, but I don't
You
know.
can complain that it's been given to him.
I'm not
almost.
complaining.
No,
I'm just-
but you'd be
No,
right.
actually, no. I
because
see
it
you've
has.
got a point there, but I do think it's a bit weird because he was basically anointed well before his time as you are going to be captain.
Yeah. And
And
whether
events unfold. So, I mean, has he captained at all in anyone's absence, or
no,
does he
they
captain?
give it to Ben Smith
Who does he?
usually,
Oh,
or
Ben Smith's pretty old, though,
Aaron
isn't
Smith.
he?
Yeah, I mean, and his concussions. His inner ear problem, vertigo, has left him shook. So.
What? Who does Sam Cane play for?
Chiefs?
Does he captain them?
Cruden or Sam Cane might do. I think Sam Cane does.
the
I think
Chiefs,
Sam Cane does. Or Leach.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah.
Leach.
No, it is Leach. You're right. It's often
It might be
Michael
Leach.
Leach, but he's busy being.
I like Leach.
Leach, Kane, Cruden, those three are the leaders, I'd say.
Yeah.
Those three are the leaders. So regardless of whether he actually captains them or not, those three are the
What
We'll
is
leaders.
just put it out there. Ryan Crotty.
Well, I already said that. You can't have
Captaincy.
my answer.
Yeah.
I just don't think... I agree. I just think he's competing with Sonny Bill and now Lumape.
How Sonny Bill's what?
And,
31 now. How old's Crotty?
And Anton Linden Brown.
Yeah. and Jack Goodhue even his partner in crime
Jack
at the Crusaders.
Been very good, yeah.
And the Geordie Barrett can play.
Nah, Geordie Barrett needs to tackle first.
Obviously, but yeah. But there's a lot
to
of
be fair, he's 7, so by the time he gets to an
is
adult
that
age.
when you had Nonu and Conrad Smith in the centres, that was so stable.
You would never change that.
That was the starting All Blacks. Whereas now there's very much this transition period in the centres where they're kind of feeling
this transition period.
They have
where
a few
still
good
the best
options
team in the
but
world.
not
still
one that.
quality.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I suppose it is really interesting to be, discussing the finer points of who should be in which position. Because if you think about, I'm sure there would have been a lot of people completely discrediting the argument. But around the time of the last World Cup, I'm sure there were lots and lots of people saying all these players are on their way out. New Zealand rugby is about to go down the shitter. Which may be a slight exaggeration, but on the other side of that, the amount of talent they still have coming through. I mean, you say they're still in a transition period, full air quotes. Are they?
Their transition is our peak.
Because put it this way, if their team is just a consistent conveyor belt of players in whichever position they're in,
they're changing.
They are going at such a steady pace.
It's incredible what they do.
They are so consistent that does it really make a difference? I mean, you could put however many players they have over 50 caps, who are 24 to 26 or whatever.
Loads of players are not the best in their position yet, and
any one of them could be captain and they could flourish.
Well, Crotty's built up a huge set of caps.
Yeah.
Just coming off the bench against Ireland, scoring the winning try, playing here, playing there. But he's got so much Test match experience.
I mean, Bowden's 26. He's got 60 caps?
And he was sat behind.
And how many hundreds of brothers and sons is he going to have?
Scott is. I actually.
Scott is very young. He's younger.
Is he younger?
I think so. Yeah. Scott is between Bowden. No. There's Kane, who's retired. He was a hooker.
Yeah.
Then there's Bowden, and I think then Scott, then Geordie.
I thought Scott was older, but I'm not the expert on the Barrett family.
He's just the biggest.
Is Scott the one that's only got a 50% win rate against Ireland?
In the quarter-final, Scott Barrett actually put a grubber through.
Did he?
Yeah.
I
it
mean,
was amazing. And you go like, somebody's played a bit of backyard rugby with a couple of guys who can, their shit.
Yeah. And I think, and obviously they got... Well, you've got this thing, David Havili, he's a Kiwi, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's playing out of his skin for the Crusaders. He's just won the Super Rugby.
Spoiler.
Well, yeah. If you haven't
watched this episode is making it out in time for anyone not to have seen the result.
It's alright, it's not me editing, so it should be out tomorrow.
we've got him just amazing at 15.
He's 23. Scott Barrett.
But is he?
Yeah, I was going to say 20. Did I say 24?
But he's barely in the conversation.
How old's Geordie?
He's barely in the conversation.
Geordie's 19.
Geordie's young.
Fucking hell. What a dick.
He could have been in the under-20s with
Kerwin
Bosch.
He was in the under-20s.
No,
that's a
World
point.
Cup. Was he in the World Cup?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't, because Falcon was playing... Someone else was playing.
Geordie Barrett was playing 12 for New Zealand under-20s since he was 11.
Oh, no, he's played for them. Not in the most recent one. I was thinking about the most
recent. This one.
He could have done.
Yeah. Oh, there's one this year.
Because Falcon
played one every year.
Yeah.
Because
he was
Falcon
busy with the All
10.
Blacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He was playing for the full...
But he was playing 12 when everywhere on website it said fullback,
Mm-hmm.
but he was playing 12 the Baby Blacks, yeah.
Are they called the Baby Blacks? I know they're called the Baby Box.
Baby Blacks, Baby Box.
What are the Baby Whites, the Baby Roses? What are they called?
England under 20.
England under 20.
I mean, have you not noticed that? If you look at the home nations, we've got England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales. You look everywhere else, you have Les Bleus, Los Pumas, Springboks, All Blacks, Wallabies, Cherry Blossoms. No one gives a shit about us.
With red roses. We got the red roses.
Well, the women's team, but that's, no one gives a shit about the Scotland.
So what you're saying is that giving teams a mimic, or a gimmick, sorry.
Oh, in the Clovers.
Hardly the Clovers.
The Clovers, of course, the Irish Clovers. They're great at sevens.
It's the way that it's churned.
Sponsored by Lurpak.
The point. So the Azuri, it's the Oaks, the Lilos.
The Oaks.
Yeah, Romania.
Oh, they're the Oaks.
Yeah, I can't remember how to pronounce that.
Lilo's Georgia.
Havili is also 23. I think I'm pissed off now.
Youth.
The Bears, the Eagles.
Oh, he's younger than me.
He's younger.
I turned 27 2 months ago. It's all very depressing.
Who is it? There's an 18-year-old.
There is someone in the England training camp right now who was born in 1999.
Yeah, the fourth choice, Eddie Jones said the fourth choice fly half.
Horrendous.
And then Tom Curry is born in 98, and he is capped.
Yeah.
Well, pisses me off.
Well, yeah,
he's pretty good.
He was the youngest.
He's amazing. He's not pretty good.
I'm going to get a drink.
He's amazing.
I'm going to get a drink. Keep chatting.
I mean, okay, how about this then? If we go back to... If we're, projecting best in their position in the world, John Eales is probably the best lock to have ever played the game. Him and Martin Johnson.
Different times. Okay, can't compare.
Different eras. How...
Mario Itoje.
I don't want to completely go on about England, but how high would you say his ceiling is compared to players like... Is he going to get level with Retallick? Will he go above Retallick? Will he not get there?
Retallick, I think. It's a high ceiling.
Because he's only, 22? 21?
Yeah. 22, I think.
22 is 22.
And so with the exception of poetry, there's very little in life he's so far failed at.
Yeah, I would say he has failed. I mean, he hasn't failed. He's done more for poetry than we have, because perhaps we haven't done any.
Fair. But, we might have told the dirty limerick once, but nothing beyond that. I am just, of course, joking about that, but the point... He
lost to Exeter. No, sorry.
22.
He lost to Exeter.
Okay.
Does that mean that...
do you know how many games he has lost?
Jeff Parling is better than Mario Itoje?
He's lost, what? As a starting player for England and the Lions and Saracens, he's lost, 5 or 6 games. Mm-hmm.
His record's unbelievable. It's just ridiculous.
Do you know, I really enjoyed... Let's just talk about Exeter for a bit.
No! Let's talk about the real
What's their
Chiefs.
new kit like this year?
Is it bright pink? That European one?
Because...
The old European away kit?
Oh, that's true. They've made Europe once.
Because
we've been in Europe since
I just wanted to bring...
2009.
Sorry, you have a chance of making the quarterfinals of Europe.
We do just diddle around, to be fair, but it's because we try and win the league.
Kit-wise... I think Northampton might have come out with the most offensive kit.
That's the worst kit ever.
Because you know last year's Leicester kit was it was horrendous. This offensive neon green.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Northampton's this season is worse.
It's way worse.
They're competing.
Because it's got a normal black and normal yellow with shaded...
This weird cut. It's not even lime green, but the green is blended in from the hoops to the sides. With no kind, it's just fucking awful.
Oh, it was made up. I think, you know how a lot of people have gone on the fact that MS Paint is going to disappear? They've gone back on it.
Oh no, I just
made a jersey
there was the tribute.
Yeah, it's a tribute.
I just want people to find pictures of that, promo pictures of that kit, and use whatever they can to green screen in anything else to the empty
if you
space.
buy that kit, it's sort of...
You've got to be a bit, you're going to soft in the head. No, I think you're going to be followed by the police. I think
you are easily followed. You'll be seen in the middle of the night.
if you buy it,
proper
I think
high
they need to call the police and say,
what's really weird?
Apparently the kids love it.
That's because they don't have to wear high vis when they go out to the museums anymore. They can just wear that.
They're all in Northampton. They're all buying that and coming out to the Natural History Museum.
But they could always wear the new stat kit. It's much better. It's horrendous, but it's much better.
Yeah, that kind of annoys me. That kit is so close to being really nice.
Yeah, it is.
But they've just missed the mark.
But not quite.
It's that far away.
It's got a shit colour and I'm just
getting around the fact that
if
we bring the circle again,
Harlequins have the worst.
If by circle you mean talking about Chiefs again, that does not.
Harlequins kit last year was one of the best ever in the history of rugby.
I'll agree.
And their kit this year is
awesome.
shite.
It's crap.
I like our alternate. Our away kit is quite nice. It almost looks like a Super Rugby
Did you see it in
kit.
the sevens?
And the big
it's actually
game 10.
pink. It's not red. It looked red in the promo.
Did you go to the sevens this year?
No, it was in Northampton.
Oh,
yeah, he wants to go there.
Well, it's probably quite a nice ground to visit.
To be fair, I was
buy a high vis shirt.
It's just a bit of a track.
I realised that. I thought we were exaggerating last year because last year Sav and me went to the Singer Premiership Sevens because it was at the
Twickenham.
At the Stoop.
Oh, fair enough.
And it was really nice. Wasp had a ridiculous team out.
Very strong team.
All the others had players that we didn't really know, and I didn't realise how much their academy until I realised that I know 2 people that played in the sevens last week.
Yeah.
I realised neither of them are pro players.
Yeah. And Wasps were playing pro players.
And so these guys were playing against Christian Wade,
Daly,
and Dan Robson.
Well, Daly wasn't there that time, but he was the first time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and also Exeter
including one in Exeter Pink. I'll show you.
Exeter blooded all of their young signings and all of their new guys and quite a lot of
that's
academies.
as trials by fire go. trial by fires.
Well,
trials by fires.
It's just sevens. There's no point for it.
No, but as it goes, it's just fun.
I tell you what, I'll call it this season.
Fun.
I don't know if he's gonna have a breakout year. Yeah. Maybe he will. But Tom O'Flaherty, just CC knows him. He's been bought by Baxter from Wales. Not sure which Welsh team we got him off. But he had a stormer of a sevens.
Yeah.
And he's looking like... He's the kind of player, he looks kind of small and slight, but he's actually quite built. And when he gets going, just rapid.
Okay, so just to absolutely bring it full circle, on the topic of the Premiership then, who are the players to watch out for in there? Because
I think Flaherty's up there.
I know Harlequins have made a new signing, and I can't remember who it is. We've got the couple of really young English lads. So aside from the Currys at Sale...
Nick White's coming to Chiefs.
Nick White is in Australian scrum half.
Aussie scrum half.
From Montpellier.
Yeah.
Glad he's out of that mess.
Yeah. So he'll be with Maunder.
He is.
Oh, right, fair
or
enough.
Maunder.
Well,
my granddad corrected me on how to say his
Maunder,
name.
no?
Maunder. Yeah.
I think he.
Who am I
remember
thinking
when
of?
he beat basically Nick White saved Australia against New Zealand a couple of years ago.
Oh,
He's a good player.
You know, he made that.
I'm thinking of Phipps.
Awesome try.
You are thinking of Phipps.
What a
Absolute
dick.
Who's another player?
I didn't get the Phipps hate until I saw him actually take a boot and throw it in the stands.
There you go. I was at the match when he shoved a physio over.
Oh, that was also bullshit. Like, who does that?
It's Phipps, isn't it?
Who was the 12 that debuted for England? Debuted for England at against Argentina. Francis.
It wasn't Thomas Francis.
Yeah.
But
Who's he playing for?
He was for the Blues. He's moved to.
Is he not Sale? No, sorry, he's Northampton.
Oh, okay.
He's from Southampton. He was for the Blues. He was okay for the Blues.
And so Curry's a Sale?
He's at Sale,
yeah.
Twindaloo up in Sale.
He's going to play with Faf.
Twindaloo. I don't rate Faf. We'll talk about that another time.
Little Terry that he is.
Who else? Nathan Earl.
Oh yeah.
He had a good game, didn't he?
Sikwe, is he at London Irish?
I'm not sure about Sikwe.
Or...
I think Nathan Earl. He had a blinder on the wing. If I'm there, I think that's him.
I want to say I saw Nathan Earl play against the Barbarians before they buggered off to Argentina.
Yeah.
Scored. I think he scored a great try right in front of us, or knocked one on right in front of us. It was one of the two.
I think we discussed this on the pod before, with Fred. And
it
was Eddie Jones. No, Eddie Jones said that there's certain players that he could pick out and go, these are just specimens, i.e. they're destined and their body type and everything. And he picked out, to be fair, he said Farrell was one of them.
Farrell, North and Billy, wasn't it?
Yeah, those three. But then I think you can almost add Tuolangi is in that realm, just because he's a supreme, like just the build of him, the skill set he has. I think he's up there with North, with the potential. But both of them have obviously have issues with injury, and North, it's a different kettle of fish. But you can just tell because of the size of them.
His size, I think he should take up his girlfriend's sport.
Yeah.
Oh, cycling.
Track cycling.
She's a track cyclist.
George North, yeah.
Do you know?
I thought you were talking about Manu for a second, but yeah.
She's an Olympic medalist.
George North.
Oh, I'll probably know her name then. I just didn't know George North was dating her.
What's her name?
I just didn't know.
Google it.
I know Trot and
Becky James.
Becky James. See, I've heard the name, but I just didn't know George North was dating.
I know I mentioned it a lot.
Did you not watch the Olympics at all?
They wouldn't shut up about it.
99% was George North.
Was this 2016?
Yeah.
Did I not say I was in France?
He said he was in France.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
What's the French
So was I. So was I.
I don't understand French. It doesn't matter. They can say George North's name. I'd be like, why are they saying George North?
They've shown George North 100 times.
Oh, definitely.
Even on French coverage, he was there. He was training on the beach in Rio.
Didn't see it.
It was even on French coverage. He was there.
You can say
while she was winning on the track. She got a silver medal.
You can say we like, right? I was in France.
So was I.
I know, but you speak French.
A little bit.
A little bit. I speak a little bit. I don't speak enough to understand that George North was going out with her.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I was just watching. No, probably that was the issue. I was just watching the sevens. That's all I did.
That was the only thing worth watching. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt's running later on today. That'll be interesting.
That'll date it.
Completely off topic.
That might be his last ever race.
Yeah, I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
He's not doing any of the 200 or relays, is he? It's just the 100.
Did everyone watch that Bolt documentary?
No.
I
saw some of it.
The one on Netflix.
It's a good watch. It was on BBC.
Oh.
It might go on to Netflix because BBC do that sometimes. It was very good. Very worth watch. I had some like proper behind the scenes. He videoed himself sort of stuff.
I think I saw the last 5 minutes and.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy Attenborough documentary or something like that.
An Attenborough documentary on Usain Bolt would be amazing.
It would be weird. There was a big Twitter chat about people being bored watching Attenborough.
They're morons.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all. That's
someone's
idiots
like,
to a man.
It's all observation. There's no science. Which
Which I'm pretty sure is what it's always been.
Science, yeah, it's not exactly changed, is it?
The exception of some of the deep water ones.
It's a boat, right?
I think it was a submarine.
Boating with Boatface got renamed to the RMS that David has.
I think it was. Yeah, but I think it was a submarine in the end, wasn't it?
No. The one of the lifeboats got named
itself.
Boating with Boatface.
Oh, all right.
The actual ship.
I'm so glad you got that.
Yeah.
David.
I knew the reference. I was just trying to figure out whether it was a submarine or whether it was a boat. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they keep doing that with lots of different things. It lost its originality. Like the first time, it was brilliant.
Now everything is something.
That was an original joke and it was brilliant. But I feel like that happens all the time. And it especially happens on Reddit.
We're going to call you Savvy McSavface from now on.
Exactly. It happens on Reddit.
You shouldn't do that because he doesn't rhyme with us.
Savvy McSavface. Ed and Fred and Savvy McSavface. There you go. That's not exactly a podcast description, is it?
No. I don't think it fits 140 characters.
So should we discuss what the clickbait title should be for this one?
Yeah, okay. Will the music be playing now?
I'm going to have to sync up
do. Now I've ruined it.
Quaggers.
I still remember the time that you started singing and he put it exactly on.
I was when I listened to it, I went, whoa! That's the best thing ever. That's got to be a complete accident. He did it on purpose.
It's Quaggers and Mash. No.
Quaggers and Mash. Oh, that's the closest you're going to get.
We need a Quagger pun.
I mean, we
didn't talk about him very much, so did we?
No.
We just said he was really ugly and young.
Yeah.
He deserved a red card. There you go.
Yeah, he got fair card.
What could be the clickbait then? Something women. We've already done Women Are Better Than Men. That was episode 1.
Yeah.
We actually didn't talk that much about the women in that podcast. I think we spoke about
Linebreak, objectify.
It was only you.
Unemployed athletes.
Only you.
It was only you. We'll leave that one on. That was Ed, by the way.
I was so. Who's going to win so much restraint?
Who's going to win the Premiership this year?
Not the Chiefs.
I don't know. I think Exeter are going to actually focus more on Euros.
Will Harlequins get relegated?
Yeah.
Are Harlequins relegated next season or the season after?
Season after.
Are we going to put Wasp has the best chart in the Premiership?
Oggy. Wasp.
It's not Oggy, but it's shit anyway.
Whatever. It's terrible. No, the issue with Wasps is they're throwing, and I know they've got a lot of money, so it's not a waste because they earned a lot of money from their move. But they've
got a lot of money to spare from not having Curtly Beale.
But remember, they were going bust in like 2008.
Oh, they got rid of Curtly Beale.
It was last year.
Oh, they should have gotten.
Beale's back in.
They should have gotten rid of Willie LaRue instead.
No, they didn't get rid of him.
When Varndale, they were going to get relegated, and Varndale scored a try to save their lives.
No, he saved the try. He didn't score the try.
He saved a try.
He stopped a try being
scored.
scored.
Nothing to do with money.
No, but if they'd gone down, they were never coming back. I know, but if they'd gone down, they were never coming back.
I want to say it was against Sale. I'm not sure. But he got in on the tackle and rolled himself over the ball, so it was ball held up. And
I mean, the bottom line...
That's a great tackle.
Bottom line, Wasps owe a lot to Varndale. I mean, really.
He's at Bristol now, isn't he?
He was very popular at Wasps.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. And he's still a quality finisher. I mean, you can see it.
He's second on the all-time try scorer list now?
Yeah.
Or still
No, he's just made it.
No,
I think he's just equalised it.
Was Quato one? Who was number 1?
He's either equalised it or beaten.
This music's going to be going on for ages.
Yeah.
This is completely unrelated.
Tom Varndale, is he the best player of all time?
And just leave it to like the final few words of the entire thing.
Yes.
You know that weird hand wavy thing Sarries fans do when players are taking kicks?
And their fezzes fall off.
Sarries fans.
Sarries fans, what did I say?
Just the empty seats.
Yeah.
Hydroid
I took that way too late.
Yeah.
But that thing they do, one of the guys doing the triple jump yesterday, it made me laugh. He was doing this weird rocking back and forth thing, and every time he rocked back, he'd do this at his feet.
Was it the American?
Yeah.
Dandy or something.
I can't remember. It was so weird to watch. He'd like lean forward, lean back, twiddle.
Yeah,
lean forward, lean back.
They sort of do that to mimic the movement they're going to do. It's quite common.
And
really?
It's
a lot of them. Well, as you can see on the video, they do that.
They do the lean.
Yeah, but
am I editing in a video now?
I'm sure people are loving this because we're just moving on our chairs like idiots.
Yeah, I mean we've completely moved on from the rugby, but I mean we're an hour and 20, so that's quite.
That's a reasonable length. There's no 2 hours 45 Harbaugh and CC. Editing that was fun.
In fairness, when have we ever had CC talk that much? The whole thing's probably just Harbaugh.
It's just Irish.
I bet on 2
I heard
minutes
quite a
max.
bit of it. Quite a bit was Irish. Quite a bit was Irish. And there was an order.
You better name that something to do with clovers.
I'll give it. There will be. There was an audible sigh of relief. I'm not kidding. Harbaugh at 2 minutes 40. Harbaugh goes, "We better wrap this up." And CC's previously been messaging him for about half an hour.
Do you mean at 2 hours 40?
Yeah,
not
2
2
hours.
minutes
2 hours.
40?
Sorry, 2 hours 40. Harbaugh goes, "We better wrap this up." CC's been messaging him for about 30 minutes previously to try and wrap it up and finish it, but he's not seen his messages.
And you just see the...
And yeah, I can just hear the sigh. And I don't know if I've left it in, but you could just hear Harbaugh goes, "I'm going to wrap it up," and CC goes, "Oh." You can just hear it.
Can you do something? Can you do something for me personally? Can you leave it in there? Maybe raise the sound, or maybe not. But can you save that as a soundbite?
You just want that bit.
Just that bit. Just throw it into random podcasts or whatever.
Oh my god, it was funny because there was a bit of trouble at Mill with CC.
Can we end this podcast in the era of the fake news on an actual fact?
Okay, go. We're gonna end it with a fact. The all-time player stats. Here we go.
The top try scorer is Tom Van Dale.
It is Tom Van Dale. Who's number 2
tries.
then?
Well, it's Mark Cueto.
It is Cueto. Yeah. I thought it would be.
Who's third?
Well, I knew that a second ago, but I just turned the phone off.
Okay, it's gone forever.
I'm just curious to know who's chasing the record.
Should we do a Premiership?
I clicked on Van Dale.
All-time try scorers
you know what I need to
across
do?
hemispheres. Oh, guys, new article.
It's Chris Ashton, but he's 10 tries behind.
Ash Splash.
Still
Ash
though.
Splash.
And he's not in the
He's
Prem
fucked
anymore.
off to France, hasn't he?
He's fucked off to Toulon.
What a dick.
Yeah, and he just said, "I always wanted to play there." Sure, fuck.
I was going to say,
He's earning money,
I need to do the whole World in Union thing.
Sanjay's replacing him.
Yeah, if you want to improve your reading, I'll bring you the Media Olympique of last week if you want.
No, who was no? That's the new article I'm doing. Try scorers across hemispheres.
You're semi-retiring your kicking article. You'll peddle it out whenever you feel necessary.
It became self-perpetuating. Someone started quoting it.
Yeah.
And it got misquoted once or twice. And I was is that where the pinnacle of an article is? But
this is why we need this is why you need to get the ads working on the fucking website so that
10k people have read it now.
10,000 people have read it, and we've not monetized any ad.
Not a single ad on it.
That's how great we are.
Ad free. You don't need ad block.
This is why we need Patreon, so people send us money for shit we're doing when we're not doing anything.
It did take me a long time to bloody do that, and it will take me a long time to try.
You can subscribe to Linebreak Rugby for $1 a month.
I like the tries.
Have we ever done a whole click the like and subscribe buttons thing?
No, it's not wankers.
Don't think so. Not wankers. Like and subscribe. In fact, it hasn't been going up on YouTube for a while now.
Is it not?
I need to get back on that.
I didn't put the latest one on YouTube. The one you didn't listen to.
Oh, you've
Either of you.
That was the one.
I didn't listen to that one. I didn't.
I can understand not listening to 2 hours.
Normally, I listen to them like the day they go up or the day after, and I think
And we made it. We even made it short.
I think the last one I did was the last time I listened to one, and I didn't even get all the way through
I listened
it.
to the first 20 minutes. I don't know what I did after that. Oh, it was on a plane.
Passed me by.
It didn't download properly on the plane.
Oh, sure, whatever.
It didn't download properly on the plane. It went really weird. I mean, it's a weird excuse because I could have probably just downloaded it when I landed, but I didn't.
Wow.
I moved on. He's just making the wanker sign at me.
In an airplane
Doesn't work
cubicle.
it doesn't work in an audio only podcast. He's doing a big wanker sign now.
Come on,
an airline cubicle. Should we end it?
Call it a day, yeah.
We started the outro 20 minutes ago.
You mean muffin? I don't.
You didn't have a cookie, did you?
I'm actually good. That burger and the muffin.
I have an actual
was
cookie.
was good.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So yeah, call it a day. This was
Bye.
This was the Linebreak Rugby podcast, not live, but like in one place, so it might be slightly less shit than usual.
Sav, Ed, and Fred. I might have to introduce us. I can't. Well, we did introduce.
We did.
us.
Yeah, we did.
Because I was the host. Remember?
Yeah.
There you go.
You're the host. You are the host.
Brought it full circle.
And we've been to the pub.
Yep, that was decent.
There was only one drink.
I mean, the food was poor.
Food looked shit.
I had
You had dipping sauce that you could dip into. Your burger looked like,
Yeah,
it'd been
100%.
trodden on.
I agree. Well, it didn't look like trodden on, but it didn't look great.
Chips tasted like shit. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you fuck chips up?
Over fried.
No, they weren't. They weren't fried enough. They
don't
were
think
soft
so?
and soggy.
Whatever it was, they weren't good.
You know what? They tasted like they'd been left out for an hour or two.
They did taste like they'd sat.
Which is weird because you waited 2 hours.
probably been sat there the whole time. Oh dear.
It was ready the second you ordered. They were like, "Oh, that's the one we've got left. Let's make it wait."
Yeah,
okay.
So music's been playing for a while. You know what I'll do? I'll speed up the process. Should I just stop recording?
Yeah. I think
Okay,
we can end the actual thing like 10 minutes ago.
Until next time.
Yeah.